Hey everyone, Renegade67 here with part 15 of Let's Play Things Right Eastern just for all case 4 blind last time. I was talking to, Edgeworth and the judge and old bag about certain things, and now I'm on this question. Was the testimony important? I'm gonna go say it was very important because it wasn't on his Hakama? Well, he said he was wearing his racing jacket, but let's just see what this would lead to. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important? Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that the witness said the jacket be a point. Yeah, I thought so. It was just one of these things. I could see where you're going with this, but alright. Witness, please. Well, I don't like to be bad with anyone without reason, but if I must. Okay. It's flashy racy jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show. It's flashy racy jacket. I don't know if I want to. I want to press this again to see if I can find something more obvious. You wearing a racing jacket? What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. Sure, he was wearing it. She's so sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. Good things would be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. It's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She's strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? Yes. Makes her, a weirdo lady. Okay, so, when we get to the end of that testimony, I'm curious about something. I see. This I want to press again. Saw my client? Are you sure about that? Yeah, see? Really? Okay, why can't I? There's gotta be some sort of huge contradiction I can find here. Wait. But okay, so I'm gonna go off to this one then? I didn't just screw myself or anything, did I? Oh, so maybe this is the important statement? Okay then, if that's the case, then alright. I thought that, but I thought maybe it seemed a little like that was what I was thinking. It's like, if it's this statement, then it's definitely the button. But I also thought that maybe it was another statement. Maybe this would like the wrong time and place to present that. But because it just talked about the upper half, the racing jacket. It didn't talk about the comma. But oh well. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? Do you? Ah! The button's number 2 in the Gemma Ninja's costume! It's button number 2. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here! Give it here! If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this! Haha. Wow, she really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. On-Guard's body during a full-body search. See? See? It's button proof beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal on guard. It was caught up in the pleats of his Nicholas Samurai Hakama pants. See? See? And on guard is the Nicholas Samurai. Witness! Now it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say the defendant, not on guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I were the, Missing the point completely as usual. What a windbag. I believe you. I believe you. I don't know what you're saying, but I'll take your word for it. And of course you gotta end with Raditus. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So, what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Unguard the man, but Mr. Unguard the Nickel Samurai? When you think about it, didn't you say you saw him with his red? If you saw him as the Nickel Samurai, no! This is exactly the same as case 3, you idiot. Okay, if you saw him with the racing jacket, that provides a contradiction. If you saw him in his Nickel Samurai costume, mask and all, then that means it could have been someone else, you ditz. Love this song, by the way. Mr. Levac, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy Poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth thinking about. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. Oh god. Should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw there. On guard, yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. First of all, idiot memory. Second of all, does that include the mask? Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. Okay. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Ah, young'uns today. I told you there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know this? Yes, prove it. At least last time you said he had the limping leg. This time you got nothing. At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Oh yeah, she's a joy. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Do I have to? Who you saw, because everyone wants to know. Ugh. Now I remember. The samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai, so... I'm yawning again. Must have worn a Nickel Samurai costume and stabbing towards you want. Can I do profiles in this game? Yes, I can. What does it say about Matt? Okay. No, doesn't say what I wanted it to say, but okay. You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in your testimony. It's sitting in plain sight. The question is what the contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. I can't. Wow, for the first time I'm on Phoenix's level. What contradiction? Okay, let me look this over. Samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing towards Juwan. I feel dumb now because Mia told me it was in plain sight. Let's look this over. Go Samurai, that's right. It would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. Must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was... Oh! I think I've got it. Well, it still would have... I think it's this statement. So he must have worn the nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. Let's see here. Okay. Yes, it's just that I thought he could have already had his fingerprints on it from before he even went into the room. So him wearing the suit doesn't mean much, but I guess the suit could have erased the fingerprints, or someone else could have used it without leaving fingerprints. Because, I mean, if a guard could have used a costume without leaving fingerprints, anyone could have, so that's why I was thinking, yeah, I'll present it. But, yeah, so far with this trial, I haven't done anything wrong. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. Well, I'll give you a... If you're trying to scam me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. Although if I stabbed you, though, maybe not. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honourness, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defense's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? Whose car are we driving? Oh, Judge, I love him. If Mr. Ungard was really in the nickel samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left in this knife, although we could have just had his fingerprints from actually using it during dinner, but actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Ah, well, there you go. That does mean something. Oh, that's right, the nickel samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. Why? And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? Yeah, there's no way he would do something like that. You gotta admit, Edgeworth, you do grasp for straws a lot. However, there's one possibility. Let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the nickel samurai. At that time, the defendant had no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim over the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. In other words, it's not premeditated, you ass. But the murder still did take place. It's well known that the defendant and the victim had bad blood between them. Yes, I have heard of that. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? Up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? There's a contradiction. Okay, so the theory is simply went there, no intention to kill. He wouldn't have brought his own knife if he had no intention to kill. Contradiction. The theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you blabbering about? What am I blabbering about indeed? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Ungard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. And that would just be the same exact thing. The knife. The knife. This was used by Ungard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Corrigan. I suppose? However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant had no intent to murder. Then why the knife? He wouldn't, would he? Yes, you see, objection, because it's objectionable. Come on, do it. Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. Oh yeah. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. Yeah. And that brings me to my oh yeah, let's do it, Phoenix. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Oh. Well, there you go. Actually, that does seem like the most likely thing. I mean, after all, he was actually strangled, so the knife was probably just to make someone else look like the killer. Although, that'd be silly, because it's the strangling, really. Why would they... Okay, just to make sure they were dead, they used the knife? If that's the case... I'm definitely thinking whoever set up the crime scene to look fake, because I'm pretty sure whoever planted the knife was not aware that they were probably strangled. And someone who might be like that would be Adrian Andrews, who hadn't gotten a full grasp of the scene yet, and simply thought they were killed by the knife. So they planted the knife on guard. That's what I'm thinking. Order! Order, I say! Order in the court! Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To hide the murder method? To frame Mr. Ungard. It's to frame my client, Mr. Ungard, of course. To frame? Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? Well, I kinda have to. But we just established that the witness saw the nickel samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Ugh! Witness! Looks like I've made your life a teeny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy Poo? Gah! Witness, did you or did you not really see the nickel samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but... Oh god. Are you saying you mixed up Mr. Ungard with the nickel samurai? His character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that. Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well... I wasn't waiting around for the nickel samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the nickel samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting around for then? That's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. John Corda, am I correct, witness? Ha ha ha. The way you think you're a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. You were waiting for the German ninja. So Old Bag is waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corda. Maybe, Phoenix. Maybe the Old Bag was waiting around for that person. That person? Okay, let's look at our profiles. It could have been the German ninja. Or maybe she's a believer in gossip. It could have been Adrian Andrews she was waiting for. So, yeah, it was either the German ninja, or more likely, Adrian Andrews. It's who I think Mia's hinting at. It's certainly possible. If she likes gossip, which I think she does. Miss Oldbag. You were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Well, pin the nail on the Andrews. Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Ungard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor.
Oh, this is, yes. Oh, I see, of course.
The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing.
Then, this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's...
Adrian Andrews, without a doubt. The witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff. Confidentiality to who?
Witness? What in the world are you...
Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. What? I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. That's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. Oh, you rhymed.
I don't do that all the time. Oh, I screwed it up.
But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here?
I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide.
I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about his secret information.
Get ready. This is gonna take the wind out of youngins. You youngins. I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. Well, if you want to get technical, Pearl is... Anyways. Pearl's younger than 10, I'm pretty... I can't remember. What's Pearl's age? She's like... 8. Okay, there you go. That Vanguard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know. Everyone knows.
The defendant sent his manager? What a distasteful topic for this court.
What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant? Never heard that one before. Well, I have, actually.
Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person?
We have looked into this matter, and found the truth. The article proposed is, in fact, baseless gossip.
But should this be true, this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim.
This means I have to smash the rumor once and for all? Not quite.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right. Vanguard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you've got to burn old bags with fire. Is that a saying? I haven't heard that one before. I'm gonna fire up the afterburns and hit the highway to the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. Secret information. I think I will get to this. Can I save? No. Can I save? Yeah. This is Wright 67 with part 15 of Let's Play Fix Right Ace Strange for all case 4 Bly. Next time, still on outro phrase. And yeah, this trial, I'm on a roll. Like it. Yeah, so see you guys next time. Bye.